Listen, most podcasts, most creative endeavors, they give Easter eggs after their product has come out. Usually once a movie comes out, then people will say, look, we hid little Easter eggs here, here, and here. Things like that. But not here on Trailer Hitch. No. We are the first creative endeavor to give you Easter eggs before the thing comes out. So when you tune into Trailer Hitch in a couple of weeks, you are going to hear our top 5 trailers of the year. James and I both have separate lists. We came together. We've already recorded that episode.
It's traditionally our last episode of the year. So, you know.
Indeed. And tradition will hold strong. Tradition will hold strong. Now, here's the deal. When you listen to that episode in a couple of weeks and you hear James make the perhaps a bit morbid but completely earned joke, yeah, let's talk about the trailers of this miserable fucking year. Here's your Easter egg, folks. Before James said that, there was 45 minutes of content that was cut out of it. Now, what the fuck were we talking about for 45 minutes? Well, we talked about Star Wars. There was a giant announcement where Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm, right, James, or Disney? You're actually my Disney guy. I should probably be letting you explain
No,
this.
No, totally. It was literally like a Disney shareholders meeting announcement thing, and they talked about everything Disney, but your co-host Kevin, being myself. Most of it got filtered out, other than Star Wars stuff. Being honest, there was, they talked a lot about Marvel, a lot about like Disney stuff in general, Lucasfilm, yes. Indiana Jones, Willow. What?
Yeah. There's going to be a Swiss Family Robinson reboot. I can't believe that got buried by Star Wars.
But anyway, Star Wars kind of took over the world after this announcement, and my brain included in that. So that 45 minutes. I couldn't contain myself from rambling and rambling and rambling. And yeah.
So Kevin, once I sat him down and said, dude, because truly with that 45 minutes, I'm not joking, folks, our raw audio was 2.5 hours long. Our raw audio was as long as Martin Scorsese's The Departed. And when I approached James and said, I fucking can't. I'm so sorry, but I just can't. If you want to, maybe we can do like our own little separate episode where we talk about Star Wars. And James said, let's record right now. So that's what's happening. James and I are recording. Now, given the last minute nature of it all, if you're listening to this episode when it drops, you're probably sipping your coffee on a Monday morning. We recorded this about 12 hours ago.
It's the most like hot off the presses episode we've ever recorded, other than like probably, Star Wars movie reviews, which I also forced Kevin to do last second.
Which is okay. That's what the fans want, I presume. If it's not what you want, we'll give you our socials and our email, and you can write in and let us know if you hate this.
Yeah, it seems to be a theme for co-host James over here with the Star Wars content, but here we are.
I am going to overload you so hard at Conquest next year. The next time there's a con film festival, I'm just going to be like, James, we're doing it all.
You will have earned it, sir.
So what I wanted to say is, given the last minute nature of it all, sure, creatively we could say, doesn't that just seem like 2020? But realistically, this was all very last minute for us. And as such, there is going to be very little editing. If one of our microphones dies, or if, I don't know, like I have to suddenly fight a pirate who breaks in through my window, sure, I'll cut that. But otherwise, you might be hearing more ums, you might be hearing more likes than usual. But as I have said before on other episodes where we do minimal editing, if you can't handle us at our ums, you don't deserve us at our likes. Because I usually keep in the likes, because it hits a point where I'm like, dude, I have to get this episode out.
We should put that on a bumper sticker, I think. The Trailer Hitch bumper sticker. First of all, the Trailer Hitch bumper sticker would say, Trailer Hitch, where'd my trailer go? Because it's the back of your car and there's no trailer hitch.
Exactly.
So you'd be able to see the sticker. But then secondly,
If that bumper sticker is less than $15, I'd buy it. Go on.
and then secondly, after that, it would say the thing that you said that I already forgot, Kevin, because we're not cutting. We're just doing funny stuff here.
No,
So
it's too late.
Whatever you
We gotta
said,
fucking move on.
that's the other funny thing that would be on that bumper sticker. So there you go.
We are doing great so far. Okay, James.
Yes.
Let's do it, man. There was that massive announcement. When we recorded last time, we said, oh, we don't want to actually say how many shows there are for fear that we would be bad at math. Do you have an actual count for us for how many Star Wars properties were announced this past week?
Well, let's do it real quick. So 1, 2,
oh, Jesus. Okay.
3.
So as James counts, there were a number of properties that were released, and James will give you that number right now.
So I counted 11, but everywhere else is saying like 10. So it's just kind of weird.
No, I trust you. It's 11.
We're going to say between 9 and 11.
Well, listen, man, if it comes out short of 11, then we're just going to have to create another property. Or if it's more than 11, we will just have to cancel one of these.
I mean, we should do all of that. But first, we should probably play our theme song, eh?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. We can do that.
You can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Turn the lights and grab a seat. Pour yourselves a whiskey neat. It's time to judge the shit out of these future releases by the movie trailers. We're trailer hits. This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're trailer hits.
Okay, that was a very long intro before we got to our theme song. I apologize. Again, this is all kind of off the cuff. Everything is upside down, like as if it were manipulated by the Force. That joke sucks, but I can't cut it out because we're doing minimal editing. We just have to barrel right along.
You know what, Kevin?
Hi, welcome. Yes.
That's okay. There's time travel in Star Wars now. So like we can always go back.
That's true.
And do that.
That's true. Thanks to the Legos, that's canon. All right. This is Trailer Hitch. Hi, welcome. I am Kevin.
Well, this is Trailer Hitch, and I'm the other side of that, and I'm James. And here we are. We're gonna talk about some runaway trailer type content here, aren't we?
Yes, indeed, because we normally review trailers. We rate them on a scale of need to see more, never need to see. And if we both like a trailer, we see the movie and report back to you guys. But we'll be having none of that tonight. We're also going to be having none of that our next episode because we're doing a top 5. No. We are going to be doing our segment, Runaway Trailer. And Runaway Trailer is when James and I have a topic that's either sort of related to trailers or tangentially related to the film or TV industry, I guess. Sometimes we just talk about whatever. But we do have something that will eventually have trailers, and maybe in some cases do already have little featurettes or trailers. So fuck it. This counts. We're going to be talking about Star Wars.
That's right. Not just Star Wars, but a lot of excited just content. No, cut that. Sorry.
Oh, no, we can't cut it. We have to keep barreling.
Jesus Christ, no.
Do a barrel roll, James.
Okay, tuck and roll. We got it. Kevin, I'm super ready for Star Wars.
Yay!
You could say I've always been ready for Star Wars ever since I was born, since it happened before I was born. And here we are, and we're just getting a billion more content, properties, shows, movies. It'll be never ending, which I'm okay with.
I know, yeah. I definitely know that you are in the target demo for Star Wars forever. By the way, I do just want to go back, is the reason why you started to kind of falter a bit was because your computer went to sleep?
No, I wish I had an excuse that good. But,
okay.
No, none at all.
I heard clicking. All right, well, I'll make sure to move my mouse too as we do this, and let's get into it, man. All right, so we're going to go through all of these properties. So give me the first one, James. What's the first thing you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, traditionally, Kevin and I, we include a little bit of trailer audio in between and what we talk about, what we discuss on the show. Now, Disney...
as you were hearing right now, There's usually a lot of post-production that goes into this show.
Now, Disney didn't have a whole lot of audio or video or any kind of visual aid at all to go along with these announcements other than like a logo. They had it for 3, so we'll include those.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, Kevin, the ones that don't have them, I still feel remiss to do nothing. That's ridiculous, right? So I'm going to...
I know. I mean, like the fact that they don't have trailer audio does not meet Trailer Hitch's standards.
That doesn't sit well with me. So what we will be doing, and by we I mean I will be saying a little thing off the cuff of like what I think that property or content would have included in their trailer audio had they had one.
Okay, I love it.
So here we go. Let's dive in. Okay, the very first thing we're going to start talking about is Star Wars' announcement for a new show called A Droid Story. Okay, listeners, this is where there would be a trailer audio thing, and this is where.
But James is coming in with it right now.
That's right. It would probably be like it would be like a minute long, and then it would end with C-3PO saying, "Sir, the possibility of successfully navigating this teaser trailer is approximately 3,720 to 1. To 1, Kevin from Trailer Hitch." He would say that in the trailer. Okay, done.
and then there'd be a couple beats of silence, and then Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character from Solo: A Star Wars Story would be like, "I fucked Lando," and then that's the end of the trailer. Yeah.
Or did I? Oh, don't know.
I'm being coy. I'm a robot. You're thinking about this, and you'll be thinking about this through the rest of the film.
Yeah.
All right, go on, sir. All right, give me what a droid story is.
Basically, what Kevin was getting at is droids are kinky and clunky, and they make a lot
Star
of
Wars kid, man. That was not my addition.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's canon.
So a droid story is basically it looks like it's gonna be an animated show with a lot of visual effects to explore Lucasfilm animation, but it will be introducing a new droid, right? It's gonna be this epic journey that'll introduce a new hero droid who will be guided by the legendary droid duo of R2-D2 and C-3PO, which everyone knows who they are, obviously. So.
Yeah. You can't feign ignorance on that one.
Yeah,
like, even if you don't know Star Wars, you're like, oh, right, that thing. Yeah,
they're literally on top of my Christmas tree right now. Like, some people have stars, some people have angels, some people have the introduction to Star Wars, which would be C-3PO.
I do have to ask, now that you're bringing it up, how long do you think it'll take before Baby Yoda takes the seat on top of the tree?
I think you mean Grogu.
Yes, I do. Excuse me. Fucking excuse me. I meant Grogu. When do you think Grogu will be on top of the tree?
Excellent point. I haven't seen a good enough ornament to dethrone my protocol droid and astromech droid yet. But regardless,
hey, do you make Grogu ornaments? Fuck you. Welcome to Trailer Hitch.
Hey, have any of you own an Etsy shop? Why don't you email Trailer Hitch and send co-host James a wonderful Grogu ornament or tree topper, whatever. Okay, so here's the thing. Kevin, what do you think? It's really vague. I mean, a lot of these announcements are going to be vague. But in terms of this one, there's a reason I led with this one, Kevin.
Is it because it's the most vague?
No, actually, it's not even the most vague.
Okay. Well, then I am eager to hear. Why did you lead with this one?
Because it's the thing I'm the least excited for, I think. Of everything. And it's look, I love C-3PO and I love R2-D2 and I love droids, but I think too much focus on droids questions too much dark things in Star Wars.
Yes, we did a very long discussion about that on the Solo review that we did.
Yeah, so the more they focus on droids being sentient, the more they sort of want to talk about like equality and equal rights in that universe. But then they don't want to discuss that when it comes to the fact that the droids are still basically slaves in their content. Yep. So it's like dude, you're the ones who shot yourself in the foot with bringing in this thought process in Solo. No one was thinking about it this way. Droids were just basically like, yeah, we're machines. We were built for this purpose. We serve that purpose. And we have personality. That's really fun. And then Solo came along and went, but what if everything was terrible and you should all feel bad for liking Star Wars? So I have kind of this weird just uninterest in droids since Solo. Not that Phoebe Waller-Bridge did badly. Quite the contrary. She was incredible in that movie. But I just think what that movie was saying about droids is opening up a can of worms that Disney is not willing to address now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, okay, so like my general reaction to this, my man,
Yes.
I think if it's a comedy, maybe, because like what I'm kind of imagining based off of that is this sounds like what The Mandalorian is, but with a droid emphasis, where it's basically going to be these droids puttering around throughout the universe and occasionally meeting interesting side characters and having little mini adventures with them, but then eventually getting on a spaceship and fucking off to a new planet for the next episode. At least in concept, that's what that sounds like. So my hope is they make it an out and out comedy or something to differentiate it in tone from The Mandalorian, because otherwise it sounds like The Mandalorian, but without a rocket launcher. And at that point, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
But yes, to get to what you were talking about with the ethical implications that are raised in Solo and then just sort of swept under the rug, I totally feel you. That said, it would be amazing if there was an episode where there was a Karl Marx-esque robot that they end up getting linked up with, like a droid who like puts out pamphlets saying that oil is used to anesthetize the proletariat, and there is like this little quasi mini robo revolution going on, but it's also trying to figure out the dynamic between, listen, I want my sentience and I want to be able to make my choices, but I, R2-D2, also really like just transporting holograms across the galaxy. Can I still do that if we have a revolution? You know, we can find something, I think, to fit that middle ground, but with very limited information. I'm kind of with you when I say, as of right now, nah, I don't need it. But all right, what's the next one?
Next one, we got Star Wars Visions. Okay, here's the part where there would be audio, and in the audio for this would be, do you like anime? Well, cool. Star Wars is inspired by some Japanese stuff. We've heard. So
It is.
Hindsight's 2020. You know what else is 2020? Or that means it's Vision. Star Wars Vision is 2020. Yep. We know everything, past and present and future. Star Wars Visions. Boom. There you go.
Okay. Now, if you listen to that and you were like, that's just an okay trailer, just imagine what that would be like with a John Williams score underneath it. It would be fucking epic. Okay, so now, yes, so to address what you're saying right out the gate, yes, the Hidden Fortress was the big influence on Star Wars. It was basically a mix between the Hidden Fortress and Sergio Leone Western. So like Once Upon a Time in the West, Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Fistful of Dollars, etc. So yes, that is the Japanese influence. Now that we're talking about a Japanese influence and you're bringing up animation, my brain immediately went, oh shit, it's the Animatrix, but in the Star Wars universe. So from what you know, what you're presenting to us, do you think that is a fair assumption?
I think so, because they're pitching it as it's a series of animated shorts, and it sounds like there's going to be about 10. Okay. I guess 10 episodes, but with each one being its own short film, animated short film. But it looks like it's going to be a collection from the world's best anime creators. That's how they're pitching it. It's Star Wars through the lens of the world's best anime creators. So I mean, I have to assume that there's some Animatrix inspiration there. Okay. I know there has been a lot of Star Wars anime, either fan stuff or like legitimate production companies have been putting out some stuff just for fun.
Oh, no shit.
Star Wars stuff. And it's been really great. It's just on YouTube. Like, it's not like on any streaming service or anything like that. but it's been, I think it has lit the fire under people to be like, this is some content that I think we would be really interested in. Because this world, this universe works in this format. So I think that's what they're going to go for with this. And I'm pretty excited about this. I think it's still, again, as most of these, this is pretty vague. Like they're really not telling us if these are going to be original stories or are these going to be like the movies, but we're going to adapt them for like an anime series. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's a little unclear.
Yeah, so I guess like my take right now. So you saying like, oh yeah, this is pretty popular within the fan circle, and now we're doing the official property. So like uber cynical side of me is like, oh, so people were doing that for fun and for free, and now Disney is capitalizing on it. The other part of me is looking at the cynical side of myself and saying, I asked for a latte, just give me what I ordered. And now in the middle of those two things, what I'm left with is, okay, so I am one of the people who did see the Animatrix way back when. I think that was like early to mid 2000s was when that dropped. I have seen Animatrix, and then kind of off the vibe of Animatrix, even though it wasn't based on an actual property, there was a Netflix show called Love, Death, and Robots, which was similarly an anthology series. Yeah, exactly. That was animated and sort of dealt with a cyberpunk aesthetic. Now, we get that with Star Wars. Do I think a Star Wars animated series on Disney Plus is going to be as violent or sexually explicit as the Animatrix and or Love, Death, or Robots?
Yes.
I fucking hope not. But, okay, so what would that look like, but slightly wholesome? I'm going to go ahead and say, all right, semi-intrigued, and especially considering which creators they get. I'm personally not a major anime guy. My roommate is. I completely and wholeheartedly endorse you if you like anime.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, it's not usually my shtick. It's not my spiel, I suppose. But that said, I fuck hard with Cowboy Bebop. So if you're telling me, yeah, the guy who directed Cowboy Bebop is going to be doing an episode for this Disney series, you're going to get a view out of me. That's the house. So that's where I'm at. But how about you, James? Where are you at?
I'm in. I mean, pretty much most of this stuff I'm just kind of in by default. The Droid Story might be the only thing that I'm just kind of like, meh. Everything else going forward, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this. So and especially this thing, because anime is a thing that I also am not very diverse in. And maybe Star Wars can be my window into getting into it. You know what I mean? Why not? Especially if it's introducing or it's bringing in these creators who already have like massively successful things that they've created in anime. Maybe after watching a Star Wars thing from Star Wars Visions and me go, oh crap, who did this one? And I see their name and I go, what else have they done? I want to check it out. Like, that's awesome to me.
Yeah, totally. You are right. That could be a gateway into anime. I would say, that could be an anime's fan's gateway into Star Wars. I sincerely doubt an anime fan has not seen Star Wars and doesn't already have an opinion on it. But yeah, you're right. That could serve as a gateway for people who are Star Wars fans to then potentially branch out into anime. So I'm calling it now. In 2 years' time, James Leesky, you are going to have a waifu pillow of Grogu, which I would be semi-concerned because you do actually have a wife, but I'm your friend. So
well, I was going to ask what that was, and then I think I got it.
Maybe
through
you
context.
should. Yeah. You know what? The fact that I even brought it up, if we were editing, I'd cut that, but we can't. We have to live with the fact that I brought up waifu pillows on this fucking podcast.
Why would you? It's hilarious.
Hey, James, what's the third thing you want to talk about?
All right, guys, we got the next one. The next project that Star Wars announced is The Acolyte.
Ooh, okay.
So here's where The Acolyte.
Okay, so yeah, this will be the trailer. Now, James, this time, if you can impersonate a character who you might think would be in the Acolyte trailer, I'd really appreciate it.
Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm the Acolyte, and I'm in,
My
I'm in a Star Wars show, and this is Star Wars, and you love it because you eat everything that's Star Wars, you dumb dummy. Okay, and
Listen, I know this will sound backhanded, but I will say that is not the worst Mace Windu impression I have heard. But anyway, this is Acolytes. What's going on here?
I want to hear the worst Mace Windu impression you've ever heard. Are you kidding?
It was just someone speaking in Dutch. It was all off.
Okay, so the Acolyte. This one is going to be very weird, and I'm really excited about this one. So it's from the creator of Russian Doll, or co-creator of Russian Doll.
Ooh, okay.
Leslie Headland?
Headland. Yeah, Headland.
Mm-hmm. Which is an amazing get. Are you kidding me? Like that's fucking awesome. But it doesn't stop there, because like as weird and awesome as Russian Doll was, it sounds like they're trying to bring that into Star Wars, because how they described this as a mystery thriller that it'll take everyone to the time of the High Republic era, which is a time that we have not seen in shows or movies before. Now we're talking like 200 years before the Phantom Menace. Like that's how long we are going before it.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
huge prequel.
It's probably gonna, in terms of, and this is supposed to be live action. So in terms of live action, this will be canonically the first stuff that we see in the Star Wars galaxy, and this is going to be exploring a mystery thriller that takes us to shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers during the final days of the High Republic. So,
it is vague, certainly, but like that's what we're here for, baby. Yeah. All right, now I got questions, man, because like if I recall correctly, you and I did a watch of the prequel movies before Rise of Skywalker came out, so obviously it's been a bit. But like I remember the impression I was getting was there was a time when the Jedi and the Sith were vaguely cool with each other. It was basically just like Catholics and Lutherans, where it's like, yeah, we don't necessarily believe the exact same stuff, but you know, we'll like get together and play softball or whatever. Is that the case? Were the Jedi and the Sith like kind of commingled before like Phantom Menace era, or were they always bad?
I think if there was a time where Sith and Jedi weren't like literal mortal enemies that were trying to murder each other all the time, it's going to be way even before this. So
okay, that's good, man, because my initial gut reaction when you said, yeah, it's a mystery thriller of these dark powers emerging and who could it possibly be, would be the context of a mystery thriller. If it's a prequel and that's the setup, I'd be like, well, it's clearly the fucking Sith. Like, I would know the answer. So, okay, cool. So at least like we have a pre-established. So yeah, if that's the case, this sounds like some Tinker Tailor Soldier Sith spy shit, where it's, you know, people are trying to figure out who's who. And a big running gag I've had with Star Wars is I really am always intrigued by how do the Sith get fucking members, because we see in depth them doing that with Anakin, but you have to assume they're not doing that full tilt with every single Sith person. And so yeah, I would kind of like to see the process of, you know, someone just showing up during Padawan training, just like, all right, now I'm just throwing it out here, pure hypothetical, how would you feel about joining the dark side? Like, I would be interested in seeing that, but like obviously if it's a mystery thriller, it is going to be a deeper and darker tone. And so I can kind of vibe with that. I'm sort of intrigued.
I think, and another thing that I think is intriguing here is that like Yoda will be alive during this time. It's like,
will.
You know, he's going to be like 100 to 200 years younger, but he's going to be around. So that's going to be kind of cool. I think we'll get another live action
100 to
Yoda.
200 years younger for Yoda is like spring chicken. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to be prime of his life. He's not going to be needing a cane. He's going to be basically Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3 giving finger guns to people on the streets of Coruscant. I'm for it.
And I mean, we know from The Mandalorian that the first 50 years of Yoda's life was basically spent in infancy. So
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, his age is still a little up for question, but that won't be the mystery of the Acolyte. I'm assuming it'll be a different.
I hope not. That would be a very not intriguing mystery for 10 episodes.
But
that's a B story in one episode tops.
But I am excited about that one. It's going to be interesting. It's keeping it very vague, but it's an area of Star Wars that we in terms of casual TV and film audiences go, we don't know a whole lot about that time period of this timeline. So that's exciting to me.
Awesome.
But yeah. So yeah, are you ready for the next one, Kevin?
Fuck yeah, man, let's do it.
The next one is Lando. I mean, come on. Ooh. It's Lando.
Ooh, okay. So now, yeah, all right, give me that trailer audio.
Okay, here's the trailer audio. Ready? It goes, "You truly belong with us among the clouds." And by that I mean super you're an angel. Was that not clear in the subtext of my of my come on? No, you're an angel, and we should get together. You and I. I'm Land. Have you met me? I'm Lando. Lando Calrissian. I'm sexy. Even droids love me. Boom. End.
And then you just hear Phoebe Waller-Bridge's voices. I fucked him, and then that's the end. Okay, cool. All right, so we.
It works. It works. Like, what does that mean?
Right. It did. It distracted me for the rest of the film. All right, so a Lando show. I would have to assume that this is just an origin story for Lando, but I am willing to be corrected. James, what's going on here?
Be corrected. You will not be right now, because this is just as vague as the last one.
Okay, word. I appreciate the Yoda syntax you gave me there. But
all right. So there are some exciting things about this announcement. They basically say everyone's favorite scoundrel, Lando Calrissian, will return in a brand new event series for Disney Plus. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what event series means.
I'm guessing miniseries, but all right.
Again, or it's like if you say, like, everyone kind of knows what limited series means now. So if you want to say that, just say that. But like event series makes it sound like very more confusing to me. But the aspect that is interesting to me is Justin Simeon, who is
Dear White People.
Yes, creator of Dear White People, who's apparently a huge Star Wars fan. He's the one developing the story. So
awesome.
That on that aspect alone, I'm super fucking thrilled for. Now, the part that I was really bummed about, though, because I want to just cut right to what I am critiquing, is the fact that they are not even. They didn't mention Billy D. Williams' name at all or Donald Glover's name at all. And I was just kind of like,
I was wondering if they'd come back.
What is this then? If like all these other things that we're talking about have kind of like been announcing, we haven't even gotten to them yet, but the ones that like have other people's names in them as the title,
sure,
Obi-Wan Kenobi, Cassian Andor, Ahsoka Tano, blah blah blah. Like they've announced, like, oh yeah, these people are in it. This is the only one that's called Lando, and they didn't say if someone who has played Lando is gonna be in it or not.
Right, and they had two choices or two chances to do this. Yeah.
And Billy D. Williams is in like everything for Star Wars. He's not doing much a whole lot these days.
Yeah. And because when you said event series, my brain went, okay, miniseries, and Billy D. Williams is older. And so if you told me, there's going to be a Lando series, that's, just a one-off, one-season thing, then it would make sense for Billy D. Williams to be in it because, like, you know, he's getting older and they're like, hey, Billy D., do you want to sign a 5-year contract? And he's like, dude, I'm old. Like, I just kind of want to sit. Like, like the royalty checks are doing just fine for me. Thanks, guys. Like, I could understand that. And then obviously, like, Donald Glover, the poor dude never sleeps. He's doing 18 different projects. And so I can understand why they might not necessarily come off the cuff with him. But yeah, the fact that they didn't mention either of them is kind of interesting. Maybe they're still in talks, because I could also see an argument to be made, by the way, that if it is a one-off thing, no, we're going to get Donald Glover. It's just he's so goddamn busy that we're getting him for one quick window in between a season of Atlanta and, you know, a fucking album that he's dropping.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So I agree. Like I'm happy with the pedigree behind like the show running aspect of it. But you're right, that is definitely a conspicuous absence. But that said, I've been trying, dude, for the past like 3 minutes to think of a Star Wars planet that's 3 syllables, because I've been trying to make a "This is America" joke, but like
Mustafar.
Okay, this is a Mustafar. Sabers in my area. Maybe, yeah, I could vibe with that. Yeah, as close as I got was Kashyyyk, and I was like, no, Kevin, that's 2. Anyway,
how about
all right.
Coruscant. That's a core world.
Oh, yeah. That's fair. And Coruscant makes sense because you have like the class juxtaposition. And now that I'm talking about class juxtaposition, that means I've clearly run out of things to say about Lando. Hey, James, what's the next one?
Well, I mean, the last thing I want to say about Lando is...
Oh, go for it.
Donald Glover in the Solo movie, there was a really hilarious moment where he's like hollow recording himself talking, like his own journal, and he calls it the Calrissian Chronicles. And he's like, Calrissian Chronicles, entry number 322 or something like that. You know, it's like, that would be cool if like the Lando series was kind of like this show that he made for himself that he's trying to sell to a HoloNet, but no one wants it. I mean, like,
there are a lot of ways you could go with that too. I mean, like, you know, you could, yeah, it's just like him doing these Flash Gordon-esque riffs about just like his stories and his adventures, which is, you know, Flash Gordon was an influence on Star Wars. Or if you want to go like super fucking like dramatic and dark and all that sort of stuff, you could like start the series with him being like, this is the last entry of that series, and you're immediately as a viewer sitting back going, oh fuck, what's happening? So it's like, again, I completely agree with you, man. Like pedigree behind it, very cool, very interested, but it would be nice to know who is playing the titular character in Lando.
You would think so, right?
Yeah, I agree. All right, what's coming up next?
Okay, next we have a live action show that I think a lot of people saw coming, and this one is going to be called Ahsoka.
Give me that fucking trailer audio.
Okay, here's the trailer audio. Ahsoka's like, oh, or someone's like, hey, oh, you're a Jedi, right? And Ahsoka, her name's Ahsoka Tano. She's like, I'm no Jedi. And the other person is like, oh yeah, I heard that in the other shows that you've been in. Do you say that all the time, just as like exposition to let people know that you're not a Jedi technically? And she's like, I'm no Jedi. And I'm like, okay, we covered that already. So should I just call you Ahsoka, or like Jedi Ahsoka? Like what should I call you? I'm no Jedi. Okay, all right, I think we're getting nowhere with this. Okay, and done. That's the Ahsoka trailer.
Okay, so I'm getting the sense that Ahsoka will be correcting a lot of people through this series. I'll hear you out.
Yeah, so we got the Ahsoka Tano inclusion into the Mandalorian series. That that's no surprise. Everyone knows that happened already. It exploded. Even Kevin knows about it, right?
I do. Yes. If I know about it, that means it's old fucking hat in the Star Wars universe.
That is absolutely true. So, they made this announcement, and it seemed very obvious because in her episode in The Mandalorian, it sounded like she was setting up a lot of things that weren't going to be addressed in The Mandalorian, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
She is kind of on her own mission. She gets sidetracked by the Mandalorian, who wants her help with something, but she's like, well, help me with my thing first, which is kind of the Mandalorian's like whole shtick for
yes,
whole season.
yeah, this season.
Yeah. And he does, and she ends her thing with being like, tell me where Grand Admiral Thrawn is, to the bad guy. And
right.
That's all we got. So and then they kind of part ways, and you get the sense at the end of that episode that we're not going to see Ahsoka again in this at least in this season of The Mandalorian. So when they made this announcement, it made a lot of sense to me. So what they were doing is they were making a backdoor pilot for an Ahsoka show where she will be tracking down and trying to... Her main adversary will be Grand Admiral Thrawn, I believe.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I will say that the only reason I know who Thrawn is because James and I play a golf game on the PS4, and it has a create a character option. I made my character look like myself, and I went to sign in to play with James for the first time, and I see this fucking blue monstrosity wearing a Hawaiian shirt and khakis, and I went...
And a fedora. And a
fedora. And I went, James, I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit here, buddy. And you went, no, I modeled this after Thrawn. And that's the only reason why I know that character exists. But I do think it would be good to get this in a TV version, because as of right now, Thrawn especially, and you can correct me, James, but I'm pretty sure Thrawn lives exclusively within the Star Wars Extended Universe novels, correct?
They initially that was the case, but they brought him into the animated show Clone Wars.
Oh, okay.
Very relatively recently though. So they brought him into the very end of sorry, did I say Clone Wars?
You did say Clone Wars. Was it Rebels?
I meant to say Rebels. We're gonna keep on moving because we're not
you get this wrong.
We're not.
We will look like fools.
No. A, we're not editing in this because we've already established that. B, people need to hear that I'm only fucking human. And also, I've had 3 whiskeys and I'm not ashamed to say it. So, okay, so Grand Admiral Thrawn, he was brought into the end of Rebels and we haven't seen him since. The end of Rebels ends with him basically getting lost in space with the Jedi protagonist of that show, whose name is Ezra Bridger. And so that show ends with the two of them just missing, like gone in the wind. They are missing. And then the entirety of the original trilogy then happens, the movies, and they're still missing throughout all of that. So now we're picking up after Return of the Jedi, and here we are with Ahsoka Tano being like, where's Grand Admiral Thrawn? So we know he has resurfaced since Rebels. And maybe that implies that Ezra Bridger has resurfaced with him. We don't know.
Okay. Yeah, but what I was just going to get at was basically if we get Thrawn in like a live action setting, I feel like that would also be good too, just so that way, I knew about Thrawn, so when I watched the Ahsoka episode and they went in for the big impact line, where is General Thrawn or General Admiral Thrawn or
Grand Admiral Thrawn?
Okay, I got it wrong 3 times. Fuck me. Anyway, yeah, I knew that who she was referring to, but that's because I'm also friends with you. I'm friends with someone who has a deep understanding and love of the extended universe lore.
Yeah.
And so I do think it's good so that way for people like me, because I genuinely wonder if you haven't read the books or don't know anything about the extended universe, if you watch that episode of The Mandalorian and you went, why was that such a big fucking deal? I do think it will be nice if it does come in a live action sense. And if you want to, there's an entire show that you can find out about that you can choose to watch or not. But yeah, it does right now. It does sound like The Mandalorian is kind of serving as the Iron Man for this Star Wars TV show offshoot, because there are definitely characters that have appeared as one-offs in The Mandalorian who are now getting their own spin-offs and stuff.
Yep.
Which is pretty interesting, I do say.
Kevin, I'm really glad you made that comparison to Iron Man, because the next property, the next show we're going to talk about, actually kind of makes that really cohesive.
Is it fucking Iron Man? Is it War Machine? War Machine in the Star Wars universe?
It's not. But are you ready for it though?
Now that my expectations have been properly set, I am ready for it.
So the next one announced by Star Wars is Rangers of the New Republic.
All right, give me that trailer.
You ready for the trailer audio? Here we go.
Yep.
Chip and Dale, rescue Rangers. Chip and Dale, when there's a danger, oh no, it never fails. Once they're involved, somehow whatever's wrong gets solved. Chip and Dale, rescue Rangers of the New Republic.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can you go again? I'm pretty sure my drink got spiked. I could have sworn I heard Chippendale Rescue Rangers for a little bit. And listen, I've been on a roller coaster right now because I thought that War Machine was going to be in this show. Now the Chippendales are brought into it. I don't know what to believe anymore.
Okay, so no, sorry to get everyone's hopes up here. The Chipmunks, Chip and Dale, will not be making their canonical appearance in Star Wars.
Oh, ye of little faith.
Oh, darn. No, so the show is called Rangers of the New Republic. And basically the only thing that they're saying right now, and I'll read it for verbatim because it's kind of, it spurred a little bit of, not controversy, but discussion. So what they released with Rangers is, set within the timeline of The Mandalorian, this new live-action series from executive producers Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will intersect with future stories and culminate into a climactic story event. So, that's all they have for us right now. And the reason first of all, I wanted to talk about Ahsoka first before this, very specifically because The Mandalorian set up this Ahsoka connection. Now, this Ahsoka thing is going to spin off, and I assume she's going to, like, the main villain of that is going to be Thrawn. Now, if you've also been following with The Mandalorian this season, the character Cara Dune was made a Ranger of the New Republic in this new season. So this also...
Now, is she Chip or is she Dale?
She's neither, because she's gonna get canceled for her transphobic fucking comments. She's gonna be out, Kevin. I'm taking a stance here.
Right.
I'm taking a stance.
That was her.
We want her out. We want her out.
Okay.
I'm taking a stance. Okay. Trailer Hitch is taking a stance. None of that exclusion here. We are PC as fuck here. We haven't said it in a while, but I am not for the kinds of crap that I forget her name already, but who gives a fuck? It's like Gina Carano. Yeah, has been saying on Twitter. She clearly just doesn't give a fuck about inclusion and people's feelings and rights at all. Whatever. It's not important.
Yep. If we have any trans listeners out there, you are welcome to also yell at Gina Carano with us.
Join us, please.
Yeah. Okay, I agree. She should probably go. Anyway, all right, go.
They made her a Ranger in The Mandalorian, and I think that was intended to be like this spin-off into Rangers. So they have The Mandalorian, they have Ahsoka, and they have Rangers of the New Republic, all happening during the same timeline. And the way this one is described as it will intersect with future stories and culminate into a climactic story event makes me think, Kevin, like they are trying to pull off an Avengers, Infinity War or a CW Arrowverse crossover type event.
Yeah. The SWG, the Star Wars Galaxy, instead of the MCU. Yeah. I understand. Okay, now I should ask, as a because I know you are a big fan of the MCU. I know you're a big fan of Star Wars. How do you feel about Star Wars basically? And again, we're very hypothetical right now.
Sure.
But it does sound like, that the Star Wars universe is going to kind of do like an MCU sort of thing. How do you as a fan feel about that?
I'm kind of split. I mean, I'm able to think of it in terms of just being a massive, massive, massive Star Wars fan who is all for it, but
Mhm.
also as just like a general fan of entertainment. I'm also able to see it from that perspective, which is
Totally.
like, well, if I really like The Mandalorian, are you going to make me watch these other two shows in order for me to understand what happens in the next season of The Mandalorian? Because that's
Yeah.
kind of asking a lot of casual viewers. And
Mhm.
I think that's a tricky tightrope to walk. And I think more or less that tightrope has failed when people have tried it. Marvel
Sure.
seems to be the exception right now, which, love it or hate it, it seems to work pretty cohesively.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Oh
but
yeah, no. If
yeah,
there's any complaint you could have about Endgame, it's not I couldn't follow it. Like
yeah,
you're always completely aware of what the story is, where they're going, and everything is, you're right, incredibly cohesive. And yeah, you're right. Then it's just a question of taste, and it's a question of like, do you like the story? Are you cool with Kevin Feige's whiteboard? Things like that.
yeah, exactly,
And of course,
exactly.
Kevin Feige's whiteboard is his story structure, which is how they like basically structure every origin movie in the MCU. That's what we refer to with that. Um,
But
but
yeah,
that said, yeah, I agree, man. Because yeah, definitely as a more casual fan, I hear that, and there is this little part of me that goes, no, I really like being able to watch The Mandalorian as its own standalone
yes,
thing.
yes.
And that would definitely be a bummer for me if I also had to keep up with two other
Because like
shows. And
I can,
bear in mind, like I might watch those two shows and fucking love them and think that it is incredibly cohesive. And I think they, each play off of each other really well. Maybe I will end up really liking it. But in its inherency, the thing that attracted me to The Mandalorian is even though it was set in the Star Wars universe, it was its own thing. And so I even started to kind of like when Ahsoka and Thrawn were introduced, the latter, of course, was just through dialogue
yeah.
only. Because then at that point, okay, we're starting to cross a few streams here. And it's hitting the point where I'm lucky that I have you, like where I can ask a question and you will obviously be more than happy to tell me, oh, here's what you need to know about this character.
Mhm.
But if there is someone like me who doesn't have someone like you, someone who is willing to break that Star Wars stuff down, yeah, there's a chance that they could fall off for sure.
And that's fair. Like I fell into it myself with the Marvel comics. Like when I heard about Marvel Civil War, Captain America Civil War coming out, the movie, I was like, oh, this is based on a comic book. I kind of want to get that comic book, and that would be cool to read. So I bought it and I read it, and I'm like, I don't understand like 30% of this because it's clearly from different runs of comics that intersect into a culminative
Yeah.
event comic, and that's fine if you are massively into comics and you follow all of them, but your casual viewer is gonna be lost. And
Right. It sounds like you basically were watching the season finale of a show that has been running for 4 years. Like,
exactly.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
and,
it's really hard to
I guess
drop
where
in.
I'm getting at is I have my concerns, but I also have a little bit of faith that I think they can handle it. I think they can do it in a way that no one will be confused. And I hope so. I want to hope that. But again, we won't really know until it's executed. You know what I mean?
Legit, man. Okay, cool. Well, what's coming up next?
All right, we got our next thing, and this is arguably the thing I am absolutely the most excited for. Okay.
All right.
It doesn't have any trailer audio yet, so it's not last. Otherwise, I would have saved it for last, but
Okay.
here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary listeners, this is the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Just say hello. What do we have here? Wait, no, that was
No,
Lando.
oh,
Fuck.
Kevin, no,
Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me.
I already know it. I got you.
Okay,
That's
okay,
literally
okay.
all I was gonna do. Are you ready, Kevin? Are you ready
Yeah.
for me to actually do it? And
I'm ready.
And you to be excited about it?
I'm ready to clap.
This whole thing is the trailer audio, by the way. It's just us riffing and then me going, "Hello there." Yay!
I'm so happy.
That's all we did. You just morph Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness's voice, both saying hello there at the exact same time, and then everyone's happy, and that's the whole series for 6
Just
episodes.
everyone on their fucking feet cheering. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Well, what do we know about this Kenobi series?
Okay, so we know a little bit more about this than we do a lot of the other announcements, and that's because they announced this quite a while ago. We've known for a while Ewan McGregor is coming back for an Obi-Wan Kenobi series. That was it, though. We knew it was going to be set between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. That's a 20-year gap, right? And he's supposed to be like this hermit on Tatooine looking after Luke Skywalker from afar. So that's all we knew for a while. We got a little bit more stuff. As announced a couple months ago, Deborah Chao will be the series director.
She was a director in season 1 of Mandalorian.
And she was probably the director of my favorite episodes from season 1 of The Mandalorian. So it was a bummer. It was a bummer to see her depart for season 2 because she hasn't done an episode for season 2, and I think that's because she's had her hands full with Obi-Wan. But you couldn't have the series I am most excited for in better hands than Deborah Chao. I think she understands action and she understands nuance and emotion super, super incredibly well. So I'm super excited about that.
Great.
We know that this takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, which also means it takes place 10 years before A New Hope. So it's right there in the middle, which is exciting.
God, I just realized how much he fucking ages in between that little period.
Thank you. It makes no sense. So they're gonna look. I'm gonna get to the other exciting thing about this real quick. But Kevin, I'm glad you brought that up because I brought this up in on Facebook when The Mandalorian brought in Bo-Katan. And look, if you're listening to this episode, you're probably a Star Wars fan. So if I can throw around the term Bo-Katan loosely, I think you understand.
I did not intend to light the fuse. I just want to throw it out there, but all right, the bomb's going off. Do it.
Okay, Bo-Katan aging between the Clone Wars animated series and how we see her in live action in The Mandalorian makes no sense for how we see Ewan McGregor age from the same time period to A New Hope, which is arguably 8 years before The Mandalorian. He ages a lot. So basically, what I need this show to address is that the Tatooine Sons just suck the life from you, apparently.
Sure.
That has to be the answer.
It's either that or the Mandalorian helmet itself is a skin beauty routine where like it like sprays and moisturizes and stuff. And then what that means is "this is the way" is a beauty slogan. So it's like the equivalent of in the John Wick universe if they looked at each other and went, maybe it's Maybelline, before they started shooting at each other, you know? Yeah, so like that could potentially be something. I would accept that as canon. Yeah.
I accept that. I'm just saying, I don't care how stupid the explanation is. I want them to address it. I want them to address how badly Obi-Wan Kenobi ages in 20 years. It doesn't make any sense. He ages like 40 years in half the time. It doesn't make any sense. All right, here we go.
All right, what was the other exciting thing?
The last exciting thing, they say, and this is how they phrase it on the website, "This will truly be a day long remembered, as it was confirmed that Hayden Christensen will be returning as Darth Vader. This will be the rematch of the century," Kathleen Kennedy has said.
And there's probably going to be some haters out there, but Hayden Christensen hates them, and he's going to slaughter them like animals, and I'm here for it.
Look, I am so here for this. Look, I am an unashamed prequel lover. I love them unironically. I love all Star Wars movies unironically, and there isn't any way around it. There are certain aspects of Hayden Christensen's performances through his 2 movies that didn't go well, that didn't land well, that are essentially
James, do you really feel that way?
Yeah, I guess I do. I
All right, hang on. I have to, because I have to replicate the shout. I'm going to move away from Mike so we don't blow it out. I hate you.
You were my brother, Kevin. It said you would unite the trailer hitch, not destroy it.
Really should have listened to you when you were talking about the high ground. Anyway.
So Hayden Christensen's coming back. What's nice about, for me, this is when I look back on Hayden Christensen's tenure as Anakin Skywalker. What's nice is the things that stand out in my brain are the moments that he was good in the role, which they're there. They're there.
Oh, of course.
Just they're overshadowed because the internet is a thing. So the times that he's not doing well, that gets completely drowned everything else out. You know what I mean?
Well, the internet being a bit too mean to its actors. Oh no, I'm sure Kelly Marie Tran and Jake Lloyd definitely had different experiences.
Or Ahmad Best. I mean,
yeah, Jesus Christ.
So I'm so ridiculously excited. I think he's got the right creator and director behind him here. He's got an incredible scene partner. And people love him. They like, enough time has passed that people are like, no, you know what? You're Anakin Skywalker. And there were some moments that like didn't land well, but we're not going to put that on you. And so I'm just massively, massively excited for this. So yeah, awesome, that is the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Okay. All right. I was like, yeah, all right, that sounds fine. Because this was supposed to be a movie, right? And then, like, the performance of Solo is what killed it from being a movie, right?
That is the rumor. Obviously, Disney will not come out and say that, probably ever. But yeah, that is essentially probably what happened there.
Right. But it's Disney. I mean, like, it's the same thing as the It's a Small World ride, where it's whatever the ride is in Disney World that has like all of the presidents or whatever, and the Donald Trump
Epcot.
Yeah, Epcot. And like the Donald Trump animatronic is clearly just a Hillary Clinton animatronic that they hastily had to like shape to look like Donald Trump. And Disney doesn't like come out and say that's what happened, but we all kind of know that is the equivalent. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, man, here's the deal. So it's like the Kenobi series I hear and I'm like, oh, okay, fine. Like, so maybe that'll be interesting. But for what it's worth, I felt the exact same way about The Mandalorian, tuned into The Mandalorian, and I've been a loyal viewer since it premiered.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, it's definitely neat and kind of relieving that they're getting Hayden Christensen back. Granted, you do have to find a context for him to maybe not be quite as forthcoming with how over the top he is, but if you could get him on best back at some point, I'd really appreciate that.
Too. There have been a lot of rumors that there's going to be like a grizzled like 5 o'clock shadow Jar Jar Binks in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which I am fucking there.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Right, especially if there is, like, we bring up the time travel component, right? And then, like, all of a sudden it's like, wait, who's that one? Like, who's that person who's, like, time traveling over there? Takes the helmet off, Jar Jar Binks, and a gruff fucking voice goes, "You think you were the only one?" Oh, shit, I am in.
And just a Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader goes, "Oh shit, son." He knows what he's up. He knows what's up. All right, let's move on. We should move on. All right.
Yeah, it's instead of screaming no, he screams yes. All right, sorry. Yes, moving on. What's next?
All right, the last thing we have that doesn't have audio for it, okay? And this is, oh man, it couldn't be more vague than this. Untitled Taika Waititi Star Wars film. Okay, here's the trailer audio for Untitled Taika Waititi Star Wars film.
Good luck.
Did you guys see my last movie, Jojo Rabbit? It's pretty good. And I also did some stuff on YouTube. It's James and the Giant Peach. I got a bunch of celebrities. Star Wars! Okay, that's it. That's all I got.
Now, that's the third worst impression of Mace Windu I have ever heard, but you know what? Okay, no, I'll take it. But legit though, that's a decent Taika Waititi. I give you props.
Oh Jesus, was it? Okay. So this is all we got for this one. A brand new Star Wars feature with acclaimed filmmaker, Academy Award winner Taika Waititi is in development. Taika's approach to Star Wars will be fresh, unexpected, and unique, said Kathleen Kennedy. His enormous talent and sense of humor will ensure that audiences are in for an unforgettable ride. And it's like, are you trying to sell me a theme park ride at Galaxy's Edge or a feature film?
Yeah, that definitely makes it sound like you like Taika Waititi. He's funny. Boy, can't wait. And then they just like click the next slide. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, listen, I like all of the adjectives they used to describe Taika Waititi and agree with them, and would love all of those adjectives used to describe his Star Wars project. But I know so abundantly little right now.
And there's nothing to go off. Like, we can move on to the next thing, because they were just basically, they confirmed something they announced way earlier. Taika Waititi is doing a Star Wars movie. It's like, okay, great. Cool.
Yeah, tubular. Next.
So the next thing is for The Bad Batch.
Ooh, okay. Now, this one we actually do have trailer audio for, but before we play it, I would just like to say, James, you fucking crushed it, buddy. You did an amazing job. I'm going to miss your trailers, but that said, given we are a trailer podcast, we should, I don't know, I guess we should fucking play the audio of the actual trailer.
That's what the people want to hear, am I right? I don't know. They don't reply to us.
The Republic will be reorganized into the First Galactic Empire!
All right, guys. Welcome to Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Now, if people are familiar with the Star Wars animated shows, there is the Clone Wars, Rebels, and Resistance. Clone Wars was the thing that kind of exploded, and it spurred a lot of characters that are bleeding into tons of different kinds of content.
Sure.
Another batch of characters that were created in Clone Wars are these group of elite clones, right? And they were, for lack of a better word, grown, but they were bred for very specific elite reasons. They're genetically modified very specifically, whereas all your other clone troopers are more or less genetically the same. But each one of these bad batches has like a very specific set of skills. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So that's the Bad Batch. They were introduced in Clone Wars. Now the Clone Wars ends with Order 66 happening, and the Republic, which is the whole government in the galaxy, falls, and it becomes the Empire. Now, these Bad Batch clones are basically going to become mercenaries, and they need to kind of find their way, find their fit into this new post-Clone Wars era, while still sort of like having faces of the traditional clone trooper. So that's kind of the idea of the show.
Now, out of curiosity, were the clones in the Bad Batch, did they help execute Order 66, or were they like, yo, no, that's too far? That one Jedi Council guy who kind of has like that weird shaped head and a white goatee, I don't know, he seems pretty rad. I don't want to shoot him. And did they like branch out? Or is this like, yeah, all right, anyway, we shot everyone, so I guess we'll just fucking fly around the galaxy and maybe get some chilies? Like, where do they stand within Order 66?
First of all, you're thinking of Kiadi Mundi.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. His name. You're welcome. Write it down, okay? Get it in your little notebook of things that James wants you to remember. And
tattoo parlors open during the pandemic. At this point, it might take mementoing myself in order for me to remember it, but I'm willing to do it. Damn it.
So to answer your question, though, we don't know. We don't know where because at the point of Order 66, we've only seen that side of the story represented in Revenge of the Sith, the movie, where they're obviously not in it. And then in Clone Wars Season 7, when we get to Order 66, we do not see the Bad Batch at all. We don't see what they're up to, where they are in the galaxy, how they react, or if they're even affected by it. Because all these clones normally have these inhibitor chips in their brains that basically force them to turn on their Jedi generals. That's how Order 66 worked. And we don't know if the Bad Batch even had those chips. And I think this show will probably start right at Order 66 so we can see how they were affected by that. That's my assumption anyway.
They all happen to be at like the med bay being like, yeah, something's wrong with my chip, I don't know. And then all of a sudden the person who's helping them just like stands, grabs a blaster, runs outside, and you just hear laser fire, and they go, we should probably go. That does sound intriguing. Now my gut from hearing about this right now is, this does sort of sound like a quasi Star Wars Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I don't necessarily know in tone, but just the idea of like, we got like these free-ranging mercenaries just like schwupping her up. They're going around the galaxy. I don't know what schwupping them up means, but I can't.
But I love it. I love it, Kevin. You're keeping it, buddy.
I sure am. Okay,
Trumping up. That's going on our Trailer Hitch bumper sticker also.
No. It's schwupping. It's schwupping up.
Schwupping. I got to get the distinction correct. Schwupping it up.
They're schwupping it up around the galaxy. Now, give me tone-wise, because I've never seen the Clone Wars. Are the Bad Batch like, just because I hear that name and like Suicide Squad kind of rings to mind, Are they kind of like, yeah, we're the bad guys, but, we're lovable? Or is it just like, fuck me, I can't believe that happened. Well, I guess I'll order more things at Chili's.
No, it's a little bit more. It's more Suicide Squad, I think. They're not bad guys though. It's not like Suicide Squad. It's like, these are bad guys, but we're gonna force them to help us out. Otherwise, we're gonna kill them, and they'll do it, right? The Bad Batch legitimately are like, no, we're for the Republic. But they are like, so shoot from the hip. We don't follow anyone else's orders but our own. We're our own unit. We're our own elite squad. And I'm going to be honest with you. When the first introduction of the Bad Batch in season 7 of Clone Wars, I thought it was a bit much. I thought they were a little over. I thought they were over the top. I thought it was very too much like we're so badass and everyone else sucks. And you see, like, everyone else who's not a clone, you guys suck. What about those other clones? Well, they suck too, because they're not elite like us. They're regular clones. They even call other clones regs. Like, they come up with a term that sounds like a nasty word.
It's pejorative. They're pejorative. They're looking down at other clones and stuff like that.
They call them regs, and it's just like, I don't like any of these people. And so at the end of their arc in Clone Wars, what they like, their story was interesting, but I didn't end up liking them as characters. So I have to feel like the Bad Batch show will rectify that. I would hope so.
Yeah, indeed. Otherwise, so unfortunately the ink hasn't quite dried on this tattoo, but I still can't shower. It's a really awkward middle ground. Kiando Mundi? That was the character?
Ki-Adi Mundi.
Ki-Adi Mundi. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So now my goal is to go to a Star Wars con dressed as Ki-Adi Moody, and I want to
A-D.
God damn it.
Kevin?
Okay. No, yeah, you're right. Spell the name. All right. I got a notepad up. I'm writing it down.
I was literally gonna just like let this slide, but the fact that you're gonna be permanently putting it on your body, I would hate for you to be so embarrassed at the next Star Wars celebration that I drag you to.
Thank you for looking out for me,
You're
buddy.
welcome. It's Kiadi Mundi, so it's Ki space ADI space MUNDI. Okay, so it's like it's like 3 words. Ki Adi Mundi. Yeah.
Okay, yep, I got that down. All right, so quick sidebar. I already know I fucked up my tattoo, so I'm going to have to get that corrected. But that said, what I was going to say is now my goal, hearing about the Bad Batch and hearing how they kind of have this whole vibe about them of we're fucking better than all the clones. I really do want to go to a Star Wars con dressed as Ki-Adi Mundi, like giant head and all with that wispy fucking goatee, walk right up to him and go, how gauche, and then keep walking. I think that would be a really good story for everyone around me. But all right, what's next, James? What's next on the docket?
Next, this is Andor.
Everything I did for the rebellion.
Yeah, okay, so this is not Endor, like the planets. This is and/or, as if you were going to say either or. And that is something that I will definitely also have to get tattooed on my body and will fuck up at least a few times as we go over this. All right, go on, James.
I just can't believe it. Can you imagine just Star Wars and or? I don't know. that's the title.
What if it is actually supposed to be Endor and it's just like the worst typo that has ever made it through? And Kathleen Kennedy is just like sweating bullets like Elon Musk after the fucking Tesla truck's windshield breaks. Just like, okay, I have to roll with it.
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. So this is Andor, which is the prequel series to the movie Rogue One, starring the character Cassian Andor, again played by Diego Luna, who was, in my opinion, a standout from Rogue One. I thought he was incredible in that movie. And this show is going to be created by Tony Gilroy, who I'm not familiar with. Kevin, are you?
Yeah. Tony Gilroy is a screenwriter, filmmaker. The big thing that comes to mind with Tony Gilroy is he wrote Michael Clayton.
Oh, sure.
I could probably say that cleaner, huh? Michael Clayton.
Okay. Sure.
I think he might have directed it too. But yeah, I mean, like, he's a screenwriter. He's been in the game for a pretty long time.
Okay, so he's an established guy, and he is going to be creating this series about Cassian Andor. It's going to be a tense, nail-biting spy thriller, and it's set to arrive. They actually have a release date for this one, Disney Plus, in 2022. So Diego Luna coming back, a whole bunch of other cast members coming back, and they've already started production on this. That's where the trailer audio you heard is from. They're well on their way with this one.
Okay, cool. Now here's something that I just realized. Okay, so first and foremost, like, Diego Luna, whoop whoop. I think that dude's super talented. I'm happy to see him getting more work. Now you're saying, oh yeah, this is like a spy thriller. I do wonder, because we talked about Acolytes or Tinker Tailor Soldier Sith Spy. Do you think we're now starting to kind of like double dip a little bit on like genres and ways we can talk about Star Wars?
Well, maybe. I mean, Acolyte is described as a mystery thriller.
Okay.
Right? And this is described as a spy thriller. So I imagine there will be more mystic stuff and magical stuff involved with Acolyte, and
that makes sense.
like the Force in general will probably be a big play in Acolyte, whereas Andor, I don't think Cassian Andor is going to come across people that have Force abilities at all. So this
which is true of Rogue One, except for that one dope sequence where Darth Vader wrecks shit in a hallway.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's fair.
I could see this being completely void of Jedi or Sith, and it is literally just political spy thriller. Like, he is a guy behind enemy lines as pretending to be an Imperial and trying to get out. Like, that's what I imagine.
Yeah, totally. Actually, James, I'm peeling off one of the new tattoos that I got on my body. I'm actually, come to think of it, I'm pretty sure, according to my leg anyway, I think Tony Gilroy was the guy who came in to do reshoots for Rogue One, if I'm not mistaken, or my leg isn't mistaken. If not, please let me know, and then I'll have to fucking correct my leg tattoo.
I'm gonna look that up actually because I'm kind of interested. Rogue One reshoots. Tony Gilroy, you're right.
Yes!
Disney put an
crushing it.
enormous amount of effort into Rogue One, bringing in writer and director Tony Gilroy in June to help fix up the film by writing new dialogue and directing some additional scenes, earning a screenplay credit for the film, and reportedly a hefty $5 million paycheck for his efforts.
Let me just fucking rub my leg. You did good, leg tattoo.
I'm proud of you, man. Like, I heard you say that, and I'm like, I want to say you're correct, but this is too big. You permanently put this on your leg in ink, and I want to make sure we're correct here because you already have to fix Kiadi Mundi. We can't have this again.
Okay. I don't want to be a regular at the laser place.
No. The Star Wars fans at Celebration will love you with the Tony Gilroy tattoo.
Yes.
So yeah, what do you think about this? A spy thriller, kind of like maybe. And honestly, I mean, I hate to take away your review from Acolyte, but I think maybe this one is probably more in line with Taylor, Tinker, Soldier, Cassian Andor spy.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I guess for what it's worth, maybe what I was extrapolating for Acolytes will be completely fucking wrong. And I hope so, because otherwise it will be a bit double dipping. But I mean, again, we're basing the first few properties we talked about purely out of speculation and it kind of sounds like it could be this. So I will operate right now on good faith that Acolytes will be very different and will have like a different tone and maybe like its mystery components. As you said, will be a bit more mystic because otherwise, if you're giving me Diego Luna as a fucking spy, I'm here for it. I'm ready to see that shit.
Totally. All right, Kevin, are you ready for the last thing here?
What a long, strange trip it's been, James. I will say the last time we recorded this, it was 45 minutes. We've somehow doubled our efforts. So, yes, let's do it, man. One more thing.
All right, you guys, we got a new feature film coming. We got a title. We got a creator. We got a release date. We're just really excited about this one. It's Rogue Squadron.
I love to move fast and speed of any kind. I think that that's because I grew up the daughter of a great fighter pilot, and every day I would wake up and go outside and look up and see my father and his squadron taking off and their F-4s roaring across the sky, and it was the most thrilling thing still I've experienced in my entire life.
Lock S-foils in attack position, Kevin. This is Rogue Squadron, okay? And that audio that you just listened to obviously is not a trailer for the movie. It's not even a teaser for the movie. It's really just a retrospective of the director, Patty Jenkins, mastermind behind Wonder Woman franchise, just kind of bearing her soul as to how excited she is about the ability and the chance to be able to tell this story about fighter pilots in the Star Wars universe. And it was a video that I did not anticipate me getting emotionally attached to. Especially when it doesn't have anything to do with like the canonical lore of Star Wars. It's just like a creator's personal story as to why they're excited to do a Star Wars movie. And I just I broke down. I was just kind of like, this is what it's all about. This is why I moved to California. This is why I'm in the industry. It's because I have a passion for Star Wars and I have a passion for storytelling. And seeing this video just like really resonated with me, especially when it came to her just donning an X-Wing fighter pilot uniform and walking towards an X-Wing in the distance. It tells us nothing about this movie except how much I'm rooting for Patty Jenkins.
Yeah, absolutely. No, dude, fuck, that's awesome that this resonated. And bear in mind, I will say, I have not watched any of the 3 actual like trailers or featurettes that have this audio.
That was by design, by the way.
Yeah. If it sounds like I'm just like this horrid gremlin with no emotional attachment to anything, true. However, I did also not watch any of this stuff. I wanted to kind of come into this discussion fresh.
Yeah.
But dude, no, that sounds fucking rad. And yeah, I understand that her dad was like a fighter pilot, and like so she was very much wanting to get a story that she could make that like, you know, had that personal resonance to her. Because yeah, initially when I heard Patty Jenkins, I was like, dude, that's awesome. Patty Jenkins is great. But then once I heard that additional aspect to it, I did definitely get more geeked about it. And like, I knew you would walk in pretty excited because Rogue Squadron is your fantasy football team name. So I knew you'd be sold on this inherently, but now that you describe it, I mean, yeah, that tracks. Like,
I'm gonna have so much
understand.
After this movie comes out. I'm gonna have so many more like still images I can steal for my fantasy team logo. It's ridiculous.
Hell yeah, you can.
I forgot to mention Rogue Squadron will be arriving in theaters. Again, maybe, but I hope so at this distance.
Of course.
In theaters, Christmas 2023.
Oh, fuck. So
this is a ways.
Yeah.
This is a ways away, and this is the most recent Star Wars movie that we're going to get, and it's not for another 3 years from now.
Yeah, I was like, oh god, you want to make this depressing as shit? By 2023, we'll already be starting the next presidential election cycle.
Oh, fuck right off.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I have not even been able to just like comprehend
process
what has happened.
One.
Yeah. So
I was just bringing that up as a method to be like, that's how far off this is.
Well, it sounds like it sounds more like a short amount of time now, which I like. But you know what?
Well, yeah, right. Once again, I am a troll that has no emotional attachment. That's why I bring up presidential elections in the Rogue Squadron talk.
But I will say that
yep.
There's something kind of nice about not having a Star Wars feature film for another 4 years from the Rise of Skywalker. That's kind of cool. You know, you're really going to build the hype and excitement and energy that fans will have to go to a movie theater again to see a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So I like that aspect. Now, there's no kind of information about this movie when it's set. I assume it'll be set during the time of the original trilogy or maybe right after Return of the Jedi. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, this is something I'm really excited for. I think in the grand scheme of this whole announcement, Obi-Wan Kenobi still has my heart and soul. But Rogue Squadron, I think, is my next thing that I'm like super excited for.
For sure, man. And not to take away from how excited you are, but when it comes to Rogue Squadron, I think a scene I really need in this movie is, you know, the crew, the men, women, the non-binary, the aliens of the Rogue Squadron. They stop off at a bar to celebrate a mission well done. They're at a cantina. And then one of these characters looks across the bar and they see the Phoebe Waller-Bridge's android, and then we fade up Take My Breath Away by Berlin, because we're going full Top Gun with this shit. And I brought the robot fucking joke back. That's what I'm here for.
You know, and at this point, she's probably just like part of the Millennium Falcon hyperdrive. So it's probably just like the Millennium Falcon in the distance, and then like the closest zoom up as it's Take My Breath Away, just on the Millennium Falcon. But you hear L337's voice being like, yeah, it's me, bitches. I'm here. I'm back. I'm in the Falcon. Let's do this. And
as you were describing that, I was like, James, you are flying close to the fucking Death Star on this one. How will you do? And I'm very happy with how that went. Good job.
All right, we did it, Kevin. We talked about Star Wars for an entire fucking episode.
An entire episode. Absolutely, indeed. Hey, what did you think of that episode? I'm going to be real. I'm tired. I'm not going to say what our socials are. You can just find us. What I'll do, instead of giving you our social medias that you can follow or our email, well, I'll say our email, trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com. If you have any thoughts on this, please, of course, write to us. When it comes to our socials, instead of telling you what they are, I simply choose to leave a dagger and give you a vague location of Los Angeles, and you can try and find a place where the dagger points to where our social medias are. Before we go, we would like to thank Danny Schmitz from Lost in a Name for the amazing intro song that you hear at the top of every episode. We would like to thank Rachel Ashley for the beautiful cover art that you see on our various social medias. Boy, this sounds kind of backhanded now I'm not saying them. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, find all of our stuff there. You can find Rachel Ashley's work at Mighty Creations on Instagram, by the way, and I recommend it. She's fucking dope. We would also like to thank Jenny Hawks, our bad movie and social media correspondent, for her sterling work week in and week out. And we would like to thank Casey Clowers for the amazing outro, which you will hear momentarily. Unless James has something more to add?
I mean, I feel like I talked enough for like 3 episodes worth in this one about Star Wars. So
Okay.
Kevin, I'm satisfied.
Dude, I am spent like I am L337 spending a night with Lando. And on that uncomfortable note, goodbye.
You can't mount holy sails without a sailor stitch, and you can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
By the way, obviously, no WB.
yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, dude, fuck, no, it's completely fine. Okay. Because a lot of the WB shit is speculation anyway, so it's like, we would basically just being like, hey, everybody who thinks it's the death of movies, you can chill, and hey, everyone who's and everyone who thinks it's like, you know, a great idea, also fuck your couch. I don't want to watch movies on your couch. I want to watch them in a theater. Like, that's pretty much it.